All right, Rich Eisen fans. Today we've got a great challenge, a big challenge that this nation's never seen before. One in 17 years of our beautiful league, our beautiful and lovely, wonderful, God-given league. We've never had a challenge this big before. We don't know what's going to happen. We might not have a season. We know that they're going to, plow forward and give it a shot, but there's no telling what might happen. If we might have to cancel halfway through the season, something might happen. We never know. So this year, that might put a great game in jeopardy. We may need to rely on new forms of entertainment, new ways to compete against one another in order to entertain ourselves to get through these harsh and terrible winter months. So, with that said, let's make the 2020 season the greatest season ever for content. So, I would like to introduce this year the Commissioner's Esports update. It's going to be something I might be trying to do on a semi-regular basis, especially if we don't have football, because, god damn it, I'm going to have something to do. So this week I'm going to start with Valorant, which is a new game by Riot Games. And it came out in April. The closed beta started in April, I'm pretty sure. And the actual main release of the game, I think, was June. So it's a pretty new game. And I guess we can get going on that. So pump over here. I actually think what we could do, instead of jumping over to that, is we could go to the game itself, and I'll bring up some of the game. I'll show you what the hell's going on in it, and then we can talk about this tournament that I was planning on talking about afterwards. And we'll go from there. I was going to make this video earlier. I started writing a script for it, and then I just realized there's a billion things I need to explain before I can actually explain what the hell happened in the tournament. So we'll do a little context first, and then we'll try and get into the tournament and see if anyone gives a shit enough to make it all the way there. So we'll load this up. Epileptic seizure warning. So anybody who has issues with bright colors or flashing lights or anything like that, don't watch this video. Stream? No, I don't want to stream. So this is Valorant. This is the home screen. Hobbit Boy and Detective Pikachu are two random kids I met in this game. I added them to the friends list. We're in Act 2 right now, which is like the second competitive season. The first one was very short. And the second one started like a week ago or 2 ago. This is the Battle Pass. Comes with all sorts of like fun little skins and whatever for your guns. These are the agents. These are the different characters you can play as. They all have their own unique abilities, utility that you can buy. Some abilities charge over time, and then some of them are ultimate abilities, which you need a certain number of either kills or defuses or other things in order to charge up your ultimate. We'll go to the practice range. I can show you a little bit of how the mechanics of the game works. So this game is based on Counter-Strike for the most part. It's a 5v5 tactical shooter, offense versus defense. Offense has a bomb. They're trying to get into one of 2 or 3 different sites, bomb sites, to set the bomb up and then eventually detonate it. Defense obviously is trying to prevent that from happening. Defense is a little bit different than offense, obviously, in the sense that there's 2 or 3 different bomb sites you have to defend. So you have to split yourself a little bit thin in order to cover those sites. Or some teams will take a different strategy, and instead of splitting up, they'll allow for takes and then come back for retakes. So that's its strategy. So you can see down in the bottom right corner, 12,000. That is my currency. Every round, you get a certain amount of currency. If you win, you get a little bit more. If you lose, you get a little bit less. Kills give you 200 currency. Setting up the bomb or defusing the bomb will get you currency. And currency allows you to buy different weapons. So sidearms, you can have one sidearm, then you can have any primary weapon. So we can get a sheriff, and we can get a sniper. You can get armor, light shield, heavy shield. And then these are your utility down here, and they're character specific. So These are the characters. So I picked Phoenix. He's a duelist. So he has this wall. He has these curveballs and hot hands. The curveball, the idea is kind of, it blinds people. So all these dudes are looking over here, right? So if I do this, now you see the little marker on their head. They're all blind. I'll do that again. Try and turn this on faster. See, these guys are all blind. And then you can use that to get a quick advantage when you're turning a corner to peek somebody and try and kill them, because they usually will have the advantage if they're just set up like holding a line and you turn the corner. You'll have to make the action of turning the corner, locating them, aiming at them, and firing, whereas they can just kind of like hold the corner and just shoot you in the head as you turn over. So it gives you the ability to compete in the corner peek situation. Additionally, I have this Molotov cocktail. It's called Hot Hands. Throw it over there, and these guys, their health will slowly start draining over time. Pretty simple. Another cool thing about Phoenix is your own utility will heal you. You can heal yourself, both with the Molotov as well as this wall. When you stand on the wall, it heals you. See, bottom corner. So that's one style of duelist. Raze, Reyna, Phoenix, these are all duelists. These guys are peek, shoot kind of guys. Over here we have Cypher. Cypher's kind of interesting. He's got a camera, so you can put a camera on the wall. Run her over here. So you can kind of like be behind cover, and then you can switch your camera, see what's over there, switch back, switch your camera. Cyber Cage. It's basically just like a smoke screen. So you can throw those down and use them as smoke screens. And then his ultimate. Give me a corpse. You need a corpse to use, so I guess we're not going to use that, but whatever. Viper, different style hero. This is an area control hero, so you can shoot up those little Molotov cocktails, essentially. Control some area. What are these? These are smokes. I don't know what that is. And this is also a wall, just like the other guy.
Toxins going up. Poison orb emitting.
Activate all this stuff. Yeah. So. And then ultimate is a giant cloud. So inside the cloud, you can see everything inside. Outside the cloud, you can't see into the cloud. So you can hang out in here and wait for people to come attack you. And you kind of have first peek advantage of while you're inside. That's kind of her ultimate area control. So, and when you leave it, the smoke integrity will go down. And as the smoke integrity goes down, once it gets all the way bottom, your ultimate will disappear. So if you just stay inside, it'll keep the integrity forever. So you can kind of like hold an area for a very, very long time by using this ultimate. So, that's some of the agents. Sage is kind of cool. She can build a wall. You can use the wall to go get high ground. See people come up here. You can also throw these little orbs. They make whatever, when people walk on these areas, they're really, really slow. It slows them down. And then she also has a heal. You can heal up teammates as well as yourself. And then the last one is a resurrect. So if your homies are dead, you can resurrect them using this. It's kind of cool. So you can use all these different agents, mix and match them in order to create the best strategy for both taking and preventing the taking of your site. Let's see. I wonder if I can go explore the maps. I don't think there is. So there. Let's see. Can I go to different maps in game? I don't think I can, but we could do this instead. So this is some of the maps. The style of gameplay and the comp you pick are going to depend heavily on the map, because the map geography will dictate which agents are better than others. So like some of these have really, really long sight lines, so a guy like Cypher with his camera can use the camera to hold a long sight line for a very long time. Or this one that has 3 sights, if you just put your Cypher camera on A and stack everyone on B and C, you can hold B and C really well and then still have eyes on A in case they all decide to push A. So that guy's really useful on those maps, but other maps, like such as this one, which has really tight corners when trying to get to this A or B site, he's a lot less useful, especially, and he's also much less useful on offense in general, just because holding a site with a camera is very good and effective, but trying to enter into a site that's being held currently with a camera is kind of impossible. So he's definitely weighted towards more of a defensive hero. I mean, I would like to climb faster, but maybe we'll do that next time, huh? Alright, so basic game of Valorant, 5v5. Attack starts here, defense starts here. You try to, like, there's a few different strategies. Like, sometimes you'll send one guy over to A just to kind of create a distraction, so it pulls extra people from B over to A, so that maybe they'll have 2 people here instead of just 1. That way you can send 4 people to B, which would then only have 3 people remaining, and you can kind of have a man advantage and take that over and force a retake on the defensive side. I think the most interesting map is probably Haven, just because it has 3 sites and most of the other ones have 2. And the B site being so close to both A and C really makes a lot more dynamic when it comes to taking the site, because you can kind of start to attack B and then rotate around A or C, and it kind of like makes it a lot more difficult for the defense. So that's the maps. They're pretty cool. People so far have not been beefing with the map design, which I enjoy. The game is basically split up into offense and defense. So you'll start on offense first, or defense, or whatever, and it'll go to round 12. So you'll have the first 12 rounds to just attack A and B, A and B, A and B, whatever, and eventually you'll get a score of whatever, maybe 8-4 or 6-6 or whatever, and then you switch over to defense. Generally speaking, defense seems to be easier. Defense is favored to win. Generally, if you get out of a defensive round 8-4, 9-3, that's good. If it's less than that, if it's 6-6, you're probably in trouble. And then if it's 12-12 at the end of both halves, it goes into overtime. You have to win by 2. In that sense, once you get into overtime, your economy is reset. So basically, each player gets 5,000 credits. So when you go into the buy screen, you only have 5,000 credits to allocate towards whatever the hell you need. So that means if you want to get like the heavy sniper, that's 4,500 on its own. So you probably can't afford to get heavy shields. So you'll be a little more of a glass cannon, or you can get full shields and just get a standard rifle and run around like that, and kind of play that game. So like heavy shields are 1,000. This operator, which is a one-hit kill sniper, that's 4,500. So if you start with 5,000, you can't get both. You got to make a decision. Also, your utility usually costs X amount as well, so that kind of limits your ability to just buy whatever the hell you want over time, which is kind of actually a fun dynamic because it makes you really think about what you need and what you want and how you're gonna allocate those resources. This game's like almost as much about economy efficiency as it is about shooting people in the head, which in my opinion makes it far more interesting. Let's see. Beyond that, I guess I can talk about how the scene started, how the Valorant scene started. So Valorant, the closed beta started on April 7th, and what Riot Games did is they gave a certain number of keys out to streamers, and these streamers would stream Valorant on opening day and get, tens of thousands or thousands or whatever viewers, and then those viewers could link their Twitch account to their Riot Games account and watch these streamers. And what would happen is randomly, very infrequently, you would, by watching these streamers with your Twitch account linked up, you would get a randomly dropped closed beta key, and then you could join the closed beta. And slowly it was like the player base grew from whatever, like 200 or 1,000 or whatever streamers with closed beta keys to like within the first week they hit 1.7 million concurrent viewers on Twitch, which I believe broke a record. I guess Fortnite had the record, but it got very, very close. And then throughout the duration of the closed beta, Riot Games announced that they had between Twitch and the Korean streaming platform Africa TV, they had over 470 million hours watched from April 7th through May 29th, which I think that sounds like a shitload of hours. So did pretty well. And then the scene kind of like, the beta kind of like stagnated a little bit, obviously, because people just stagnate on everything after it's been around for a week or two. And it kind of leveled out at like, I don't know what the numbers were, but eventually the game came out and tournaments started happening, blah, 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 blah. And let's see. Here's some of the viewership numbers for the Ignition series, which is what Riot Games calls their, it's like their main tier 1, like top tier, like the NFL basically of Valorant. So like there's like lower tier tournaments as well, which would be like college football or whatever. And like the Ignition series would be the NFL basically. This is the Premier League. And let's see, this Latin American tournament only had 47 viewers, pretty bad. North America, this one's like almost got to 60,000. T1. So T1's a team. They put on this Ignition series event. 58,000 viewers, pretty good. Rage is also a Japanese team. They put on one of these Ignition series games. They had 39,000 viewers, pretty good. G2, the European team, 34,000. This Brazilian team had almost 48,000 views. It's pretty crazy. We played another 54,000. Vitality, PAX, Mandatory. So they're all getting somewhere around 50,000 views for the most part. 39, 40, 47, 54, 30, 79, 51. So, and then last weekend we had the FaZe tournament, which is the biggest one so far. It's a $50,000 prize pool. I guess the combined figures peaked at 190,000. Since most of these other ones were about 50,000, so 109,000 is pretty insane. And yeah, so this is the FaZe tournament that happened last weekend. This is Liquipedia. This is if you want any esports bullshit, go to Liquipedia. It's got everything. The prize pool 50 grand, 16 teams. This is in North America. This happened 806 to 809. So this was last week. This is super recent. Host WTF Moses. He's a funny guy. Golden Boy. He's cool. Whatever. Some other guys. And then these are the teams I got invited. FaZe, TSM, T1, Sentinels, Cloud9, Built by Gamers, whatever. And then there's like a couple of qualifier teams that made it. I think these are all amateurs. Like Decop, he used to be an Overwatch player. Cute fat boy. He's got a good name. Kaplan, I think I've heard of that guy. So these qualifier teams made it in. And then these are all like endemic esports organizations who got invited into the tournament. It's put on by FaZe Clan, so obviously they're the featured team. They're interesting because when a new game happens or a new esports team happens, a lot of times what happens is teams will try to pick up players from similar games that were professional in the past. So there's always a mad scramble, just like, okay, like Valorant came out, we got to grab up. Since Valorant gets compared to Counter-Strike, let's pick up a bunch of Counter-Strike players, so that's going to be the easiest transition. And people will be like, oh, well, this game borrows things from Team Fortress 2 or it borrows things from Overwatch or whatever, these other like hero-based shooters. And so then there'll be a mad scramble to grab those kind of players and like kind of combine these mixed rosters to like create teams that have diverse skill sets that take advantage of the rule sets of this new game that combines rule sets from previous games. Whatever, that was terribly said, but I think I understand what I said. So FaZe Clan, this team is Corey, Zachary, Baby Bay, and Raucus. These are all former Overwatch players. Marv used to play Counter-Strike, so that's one style of building a team. TSM, which is the team that actually ended up winning the tournament. These are all 5 Counter-Strike players. It's just like we went straight up Counter-Strike. We'll learn the ability game on the back end. This is another T1. This is another Counter-Strike. These are all Counter-Strike guys. Sentinels. This one's an interesting team, actually. Sinatra was the MVP of the Overwatch League. He was like probably one of the highest paid players in the Overwatch League and just quit mid-contract and just decided to join Sentinels. Rumors are he's making $20,000 a month for Sentinels, which is completely insane, especially for a, 3-month-old esports scene. And then his friend Zoms used to play Overwatch as well, and then went to Apex Legends, and then converted over to Valorant. And then these six, Shazam and Dapper, these are all Counter-Strike guys. So a lot of it is usually like Counter-Strike is the foundation, and then you add in pros from other games like whatever, Apex Legends or Overwatch or whatever. 1000 Thieves is a cool team. Hiko is like a dope CS pro, and then these guys are all your boy Dre and Valley 8 and all these guys. These are all Apex Legends players. This team is doing absolutely terrible, so this combination doesn't seem to work so far, but Hiko's just a cool guy, so I don't know. And then Cloud9's an interesting team. Tens is considered like one of the best players in the world, probably him or Wardell. These are like probably the two best players in the world. But the problem is TSM and Wardell have Hayes, Sabrosa, and Drone, who are all very good players as well. Cutler's pretty terrible, but at least he's got some support, whereas Tens is considered either one or two best player in the world, and everyone else on his team, Vice, Shinobi, Mitch, and Relics, are pretty bad. So he's kind of like one of those NBA teams that has a dude who scores like 28 points a game, and then just everyone else is complete shit. And here's the bracket. The group stages. So then Sentinels, Genji came out, Cloud9, TSM, T1, Team Envy, Immortals, FaZe Clan. So what's interesting is only invited teams made it out. So Mix Up, China Win, Bloom, and Lemonade Stand, these qualifier teams, not a single one made it out of the group stages. So clearly those are the, whether it's resources or just overall talent, those are by far the worst teams. And then, so yeah, those teams made it out. And then here's the playoff bracket. Sentinels beat FaZe Clan. Sentinels is generally considered top 2 teams in the world, and TSM is probably the other top 2 team in the world, and then everyone else is just struggling to try and make second tier. And over the last 4 tournaments, the finals has been TSM versus Sentinels every single time. And Sentinels actually have won 4 in a row going into this, and then TSM switched their style up a little bit. They were able to counter Sentinels, knock them down to the losers bracket, and then play them again in grand finals and still beat them again. So TSM seems to have taken over the spot as the best team in the world over Sentinels. And yeah, that is your first esports update. It was super grimy, super shittily done. Probably just rambled most of the time, and I'll probably write a better script next time. But that is essentially the game of Valorant and its inception, development of the esports scene, and what has happened most recently in the game. And I don't know if you got any of that, but cool. All right, I'll see you guys again.